Good afternoon. Today is the 9th of January. It's time for yet another not particularly interesting, very vague and probably quite boring vlog. So the other day I received an email from a dealer from whom I bought a second-hand MG3 in 2016. Yes, I'm still on the mailing list. At the moment, they don't seem to be promoting the MG brand very much. They seem to, I think, be MG after sales only, and I understand that, having done a very vague blog about what is going on at MG Motor UK last year. But they are selling the KGM brand, formerly SsangYong, and as a SsangYong owner since 2020, in fact, we're in the SsangYong today, I wondered what was going on with the brand. Now, the car they were advertising is a version of the Corando. It's been around since 2019, this particular version, called, I think it's the C300, this particular generation. It's quite a good car. I can't tell you about some of them I've driven of this type for obvious reasons, but I can tell you about the electric version that I drove in 2023. And they're very big, they're very well equipped, but they're somewhat almost invisible on the market. The thing that caught my attention actually was the price. Now, when the Corando was launched in 2019, this particular version, it was considerably cheaper than this, but the K35, I think, is the base model now. It's not really a base model in terms of the kit, but it's in terms of its position in a range. It's 25,995 with a 5-year warranty. Now, SsangYongs used to have, back in the day, used to have a 7-year warranty. This one's got a 7-year warranty. KGMs, now they come with a 5-year warranty for the petrol engine cars and a 7-year warranty for the electric cars. So this has a 5-year warranty. I think it's unlimited miles for 25,995. You get things like ventilated seats in there. You get the black styling pack, and you'd only probably find on versions of, say, I don't know, a Kia Sportage, N-Line or something like that. So it looks quite sort of nifty, really. It's not my specification. You know, one of the Corandos that I've driven, I can't talk about the engine, had a very, very nice white leather interior. It very much was my sort of thing. But there's a problem with KGM, and we're going to look at this in a bit more detail when I record a series of videos about 2024's sales in the industry overall. But their rebranding as KGM from SsangYong, which came into effect in January 2024, hasn't necessarily been the most successful I've ever seen. For context, I've looked at the figures compared with SsangYong sales for 2023 and KGM's for 2024. Obviously, the rebranding took place 1st January 2024, and they actually sold fewer cars as KGM in 2024 compared to SsangYong in 2023. Now, SsangYong didn't necessarily have the best reputation at the time of the rebrand. That was one of the things they were quite keen to get rid of. And the KG Group, who now owns the company, they chose the name KG Mobility worldwide. But people in Europe and in this country said, well, KG Mobility will just remind people of mobility scooters and things like that. So that's not great. So they called it KGM. But nobody knows who KGM are. At least SsangYong, people kind of knew who they were. Maybe not like the best reputation, and people knew who they were. Very loyal ownership, actually. And having been an owner of this car since July 2020, and been in touch with several people who have these cars, there are issues with them, but actually quite a few people love them. Some people are on their second or third of these because they were launched in 2015. So the problem is this sort of lack of name recognition and also the pricing. You might think, my goodness me, like a car with ventilated seats and styling pack and everything else, and Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, all that sort of thing. It's large, the boot is massive on a Corando for $25,995. In the context of 2025, that's actually quite a cheap car. The full Puma, that's a segment down, starts at £300 more. The Suzuki Vitara, that is a segment down, starts at £27,000. Like, you don't get anywhere near the equipment on these cars that you do with the Corando K35. There's a problem though, and that's MG. Plus some other brands that might be coming into this country in the next few years, like Omoda, JQ, all that sort of stuff. The MG HS, the new one, bear in mind the Corando came out in 2019, is £25,000 starting price. It's actually less money, and with a 7-year warranty and far better name recognition. The VHS was one of last year's best-selling cars. The context for Tivoli, which started at about £12,500 when it was new in 2015. Obviously, they're still selling it. Tivoli. You can go and buy a brand new one today. It's about £21,000 or £22,000. So is the MG ZS with a hybrid powertrain. The MG is actually cheaper. Now, fair enough, like the SsangYong, you might get a little bit more equipment in it, but you're going to have this problem of trying to explain to people what it is. You're going to have this problem that the dealers aren't actually that prevalent. There are some very good KGM dealers. Obviously, one of them I'd recommend is Platinum KGM, where I bought this car in 2020. But some of them I've heard aren't that good. It's just a shame. And also, your dealer's not that close necessarily. And also, the parts availability is actually okay for these cars if you are savvy and you know what to do to get them. But a lot of people would wonder where on earth you do get parts for a car like this, and we go with any car in the range, Rexton, the Grando or the Torres or whatever. And then you look at cars like the Sportage, which is about £30,000 now. The Tucson, that's about £33,000 for the base model. So there's a big difference between them. But if you are not going to be able to get like the best price when you sell a Corando or a Tivoli or something like that, you're going to struggle to find parts for it, or you can see if you are, you can do some work and get them, but that's about it. Then, why would you buy one of these KGMs over a brand that you know better? Because you're going to have the same problem in the second-hand market. Someone's not really going to know what it is, and they're going to think, where do I find parts for it? Where are the dealers? Whereas Kia, Hyundai, Ford, MG, there's dealers everywhere for these cars. And that's sort of really the issue. I don't know how they can really sort of solve this. People who buy them, generally the sort of larger things like the Rexton and the Musso, the pickup truck, they are doing sort of okay, I think. But when you look at the sales, for example, Lamoda, a brand that was launched in the sort of middle of last year, and they've sold more than double the number of cars that KGM sold in the entire year, not from the standing start, but from previously being SsangYong. I'm a little bit concerned as an owner of one of these cars, what the future of the brand is, whether KGM will keep selling cars in this country at all. I would be really sad if that were to happen, but if your sales aren't increasing, like they actually went down very slightly in 2024 from 2023, what is it that you can do other than people, like me, giving ownership reports on these cars and saying, well, they're actually okay. I did one actually earlier this month. So I'll be interested to hear what you kind of think in the comment section below. Have you seen more KGMs on the road than SsangYongs? Are you even aware this company exists and they sell cars? Have you seen, for example, a Torres, which is the newer model that they introduced last year? Let me know in the comment section below. And if there are other people out there who own SsangYongs and KGMs, I know there are some of you out there, then let me know what you think about this as well. I really hope it's going to improve and that people will start buying these cars in larger numbers. But at the moment, I'm just unsure about that. But anyway, thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment below, and we'll see you again very soon for some more very vague and not particularly interesting music.